Hello, this is Tawanda House, and I am presenting to you Team 2's final presentation, The Library Project, Reconstruction of the UCA Research Guides. And before you, once again, our team, Raven Ward, our project manager, Latricia Robinson, Tia Dro, and myself. Our scope was to reconstruct the UCA Research Guides website to make it more user-friendly and easier for the students to navigate through the library's resources available for them. Our project sponsor, Jessica Reed Muller, and our project champion, Dean Covington. So here we have our dashboard, which we ended up having our contracts. Of course, the project team delivered the job that we were entitled to deliver, specified in the documents, and of course all of the parties involved agreed on it. And we went before our project sponsor with designs that we brought to her, and we ended up having to change these designs quite a few times with the help of the UCA IT department, just so that we can meet the requirements that the sponsor had set for us. We did end up finishing our project within the time frame that we had anticipated. However, we had some milestones and some delays in the beginning, and there were some areas of slippage that we were able to overcome. So thankfully, we were able to get past those, but we did end up finishing our project within the allotted time. We did conduct and deliver the job as expected by our sponsor, which she did complete and sign off on. Just a few of our milestones and the dates with the risk assessments for this particular semester. We were able to complete our charter, our project report, of course, our executive summary, of course. We were able to receive our final research guide design back from our technical writers assistants that we had, and we did meet with Jessica for the design approval, and therefore we were able to take it to UCA IT department to complete our project. So some of the positive lessons that we learned, mainly, again, contracts, document everything in order for us to prevent any additional work on our behalf or on our part. We were able to outline in the contract our scope of work. So once we were able to get our sponsor to sign off, that prevented anyone else from adding any additional work or changing anything outside of the scope. So it was really helpful to make sure we had that understanding and the lines and our boundaries defined for us all, so that anything that was beyond our scope, we could easily adjust, possibly put it off for the next go around or any other changes that may happen to the UCA research guides in the future. But right now, we were just able to focus on what we identified in our scope. Communication was also something else that we were able to overcome, because we know that, of course, information should flow between all team members, despite being unable to meet in person. Of course, with me being a fully online student, I very rarely had the opportunity to see my teammates in person. However, we were able to communicate via phone, via email, and through our GroupMe group that we ended up developing, which was about 90% of the time that we communicated with each other. We were available at any given time whenever someone would contact the group in that chat or in that group. Everyone was able to see, so communication wasn't misconstrued once we got the hang of it. So it was really a positive that we were able to keep everyone updated and keep tabs on everything that was going on with our project, even if we were unable to see each other face to face. Our technical writing team, it was a positive as well, because we do realize that sometimes it is difficult to work on a project of this caliber without additional help. So we were one of the teams chosen to receive an assistance from the technical writing team, and it was really a helpful tool for us to be able to receive that particular help from the team, that we were able to go through just our documents and really go through a lot of the processes that we overlook, especially being in IT, but we were able to review with them, and they were able to give us great feedback. Some of the negative lessons learned. So our team meeting misunderstanding that we kind of had a big one back in October that we were supposed to meet. And some of us thought in person, and some of us just thought we were going to start working on our part of the project at that point in time without meeting. So that was kind of an example, a negative example for us, because we didn't meet in person, or because we didn't make sure that everyone was on the same page and that everyone had a good comprehension of what we were supposed to do. We were in full disagreement, and we had friction going on between some of the team members. However, we were able to define each role and assignment to avoid any of the confusion from that point afterwards, which worked really well. So that was kind of something negative that happened that we were able to learn from. Another one was meeting with Jessica to present updates from UCAIT. It was really kind of difficult to pin her down, but and that's pin her down in person, but we were able to communicate with her via email. We came up with different designs that the UCAIT department helped us to develop and implement. Implementation of these designs were beyond the project scope. So again, referring back to the project scope and what our boundaries were and what our outliers were, we were just able to say, okay, well, this isn't what was defined for us. And actually, Jessica helped say, you know what, let's just kind of restrict this on the webpage, just to kind of really to avoid a heavy workload for everybody involved. So she was really helpful and understanding for that. But in the same sense, she didn't get everything that she wanted because of just not trying to make the workload so heavy for everyone. So we ended up having to reevaluate some of those implementations and just kind of go back with our teams to make sure that we could deliver a product that would fit the scope. Also, plan for delay. The project team received an additional help, again, by the technical writing team on some of the activities. However, our calendars and our schedules didn't line up correctly, so we ended up missing one of our due dates. So we actually had to go back with the team just to make sure that we were all on the same page with them and that they understood that we needed to have this information and this particular, we just kind of needed some help during that point in time. So we were able to get past that. So that was something negative that we learned from, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, that the schedules line up, that you do plan for slippage, and that you have a plan B. So that was helpful. Just our project overview of us going through our project evolution. Everything's at 100%. In conclusion, we learned that we needed to make sure that all of our communication methods would be effective, that contract agreements should be effective for all parties involved. If you have the opportunity to search for any research any additional technical resources that can check for accuracy, please do that as well. Whether it be a website, whether it be another department on campus, just something that will kind of, especially if it's in an area that you as a team know that you guys are not really strong in, or that you don't really have very many strong technical writers. So if there's a team or a department or a website that you could research for, just make sure that you take advantage of that. Also, make sure the design, that you have a set design before implementation. It is good to have several, and this could be with any particular project, it's good to have several different ideas, but especially if you're working with someone that does have to sign off, make sure you kind of give them a few options so that they can go on ahead and kind of custom make whatever it is that they would like to see as their end product. So that was kind of one of those, again, one of those lessons learned that we were able to just make sure that we covered. Manage your time effectively and make a backup plan in case of delays. So thank you so much for listening to this presentation, and please, we welcome your feedback. Thank you. Have a good evening.